Guys, welcome back, MDW, for another action figure review. And today I've got both the Stormtrooper variants, the new ones that were just released last week in Hong Kong. So I've shipped them over pretty sharpish for review for you guys. I've got the standard version and the deluxe version as well. There's a few bits and pieces in each one that's a bit different, but overall I want to talk about the actual figures and the designs as well, because they're more centered around the Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper, so they're a bit different from the New Hope ones that we're used to. So let's open them up and see what they're like. Hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for joining me. So we're going to literally open up these boxes now and see what the difference is between them. So as you can see, a bit of a size difference here. The deluxe version has a little bit of a bigger box, just because it's housing the extra bits and pieces that you get with the deluxe version, so I'll go into that. But the standard Stormtrooper box art on the front, the Stormtrooper picture, it's got its cool little sleeve around it that they've started doing out of most of the figures. Pops off, you get, again, it's a bit Photoshopped artwork there, looks like it's on indoor with the trees in the background there of the Stormtroopers following their blasters. Ping that off, and there we go guys, you see the Stormtrooper comes in his protective casing, a little bit heavier box, because obviously the deluxe version comes with the light up display that goes behind it, so you guys can see there's different Photoshop art inside the deluxe one. So it's the Stormtrooper again, and it looks like it's on the Death Star, potentially Return of the Jedi, and this is the additional deluxe item that you get. So you get one of these light up Death Star kind of backdrop corridors. You get in with the figure as well, but as I say, as the figure goes, it's pretty much exactly the same as the standard Stormtrooper. There's no other bits that come with it apart from the extra display piece for the base, which I'll give you guys a quick show and tell in a second, but I'm going to primarily review the standard version of the model, and then I'll show you the stuff from the deluxe as well. So let's have a look at the figures, because they are quite a bit different than the New Hope Stormtrooper. You wouldn't think that after all these years of watching the films, but there is a lot of differences between the two. So let's have a look at that now. Okay, so we're back, Stormtrooper outside of the box, are ready to have a closer look. So, the armour did change quite a lot over the years. So the New Hope armour is quite a bit different from the armour that we saw in Return of the Jedi. So as I said at the start of the review, this armour is more in keeping with Return of the Jedi. There's a few telltale signs that can tell straight away. The shape of the helmet, the lenses in the helmet themselves are green for this particular Stormtrooper. So yeah, they changed the actual shape of the armour in little bits here and there. So we'll go through and have a little rundown of the articulation first of the Stormtrooper. So his head moves from left to right, goes up and down a little bit. So there we go, and up. So a little bit of movement. There we go. The shoulder, probably the shoulders only move probably up to about here where his armour shoulder pads hit the breastplate, and then the arms don't really rotate at all. There's like a little joint there. You guys can see that goes rotates them out and back in again, and then there is a 360-degree joint at the hand. Obviously you switch the hand out so you can swap all those around. So yeah, so there's one at the elbow there, and that swivels also as well, and then the hinge joint. So there's loads of movement in the hand, which is cool. As we also know, the armour moves up and down the body quite easily to allow you to pose it holding a blaster, so that's not going to be much of an issue. There isn't really any torso crunch. Perhaps a little bit, no torso swivel though, because this is all kind of one piece there underneath, this bit here around his torso and his groin. And then his legs again, I've got the undersuit, the material undersuit. Also the figure's padded as well, the undersuit, to bulk him out a little bit. So that's about as far as you're going to get the legs open. There isn't really much of a quad movement either. His armour kind of moves, but his legs don't. And then there's a bend at his knee. Again, you're not going to get it up that far. It's probably about as far as I've got. And then his feet swivel, and there is a hinge joint there, so you can pose them a little bit with the feet. But say, you know, the legs are a lot more static than the upper body, just because of obviously the big joints, the big pieces of armour, especially around his kneecap there. So you're only going to get a couple of bends out of that. Let's have a little rundown of the paint job on the Stormtrooper. So you guys, again, it's white plastic armour as you can see, the green lenses and the blue decals on the helmet. There's a lot more weathering on this version of the figure. So the New Hope Stormtrooper doesn't have really any weathering on it at all. It's just the white, and so you guys can see here, there's kind of like dust or dirt under his eye there, and on the actual torso part of the armour. There's not much of it, it's just in between his belt, you guys can see there, and then at the top of his legs going down these bits here. There's not really much on the other side. His feet have got dirt and mud picked out and all the kind of recesses on his boots. There's a little bit more kind of on the back of his legs. Not much for those, so that separates him a bit differently from the New Hope version. The armour itself has loads of different design features than the original one had. So I'll just quickly give you a heads up on them. If I zoom out a little bit. So the helmet is obviously smaller in Return of the Jedi. The green lenses, as I said before. Shoulder pads are a little bit bigger. The torso here, like so, the chest piece in the New Hope version, this chest piece is a lot more prominent, so it's more slimline. The belt in this figure here is a bit bigger, a bit looser. They've kind of sat the belt over the torso and the groinal piece of armour, which I'll go through in a second because I don't really like that on the figure. Then I say again, the codpiece bit here is more of a different shape design. The control panels here and again the belly of him is a bit different, the actual configuration of them. So there is quite a few differences to this on the original Stormtrooper, the New Hope. You can also tell as well on this armour, there seems to be on this chest piece here, you guys can see this lip. It's been moulded in there. So again, yeah, I don't really remember that from the Stormtroopers from Return of the Jedi, but like I said, you just get used to seeing Stormtroopers, you probably don't notice it. But yeah, this lip is all the way across the armour, and then also the armour pieces are a lot more prominent, the split in the armour as well. So these guys have got this giant split with the armour, doesn't meet. The New Hope version, I believe, the top piece here sits over this bottom piece, so you don't really have that. But I say again, they changed that version for this. So now we're going to do a comparison with this Stormtrooper and the New Hope one. My thoughts on this figure is, it sounds going to sound crazy because it's a Stormtrooper, and Stormtroopers are cool. I don't really like this Stormtrooper. It's not the Stormtrooper's fault himself. I mean, I love Stormtroopers, even in all the films. I don't know whether they've executed this figure differently or not. I'm not too sure. I mean, on the camera there, it looks okay, guys, probably. But when you take him out of the packet and you hold him, if there's a word for it, I always say almost he's a bit frumpy. Like the belt here is quite large, and it sits over, like I said, his torso and his stomach piece here. It almost feels like he's wearing like a nappy or something. It's really big. I don't know if you guys can see that. It kind of ruins the shape of the figure. He's a very square figure. His body is very square all the way down. His arms and his shoulders, are obviously in proportion to that, and then his helmet is just a little bit smaller than the original New Hope one. I just think it looks a little bit strange. Again, I don't know whether that's just the way they've changed the armour set and I'm just being a bit picky with it, but I do not like this Stormtrooper anywhere near as much as the New Hope one. I don't know why. I mean, the weathering is okay on the armour. I don't like the subtle designs on it. But so let's bring in the New Hope one to compare it. So let's put him in here. There we go. Okay, so I'll take him off his base because he's not that tall. Okay, so yeah, compare it to the New Hope Stormtrooper. So the white of the new Stormtrooper just out is a bit whiter. There's a little bit more of a cream feel to the New Hope Stormtrooper. As you guys can see, again, straight away the helmet shape difference. The shoulders, you guys see the New Hope Stormtrooper, the shoulders are quite a bit further back and the helmet is almost touching the shoulders, where this one here, the shoulders are probably more in level with where it should be compared to the helmet. I always felt that the New Hope one was kind of shrugging his shoulders a little bit, where the newer version of the Stormtrooper doesn't. But you guys can see the chest here, so you turn it sideways. The chest here is a lot more prominent than this version of the Stormtrooper. No lip down the bottom. And then this belt is a lot more streamlined to the figure, and the figure itself has a lot less padding on the undersuit compared to this figure as well. So he does feel more, less bulky than this figure, a bit less frumpy. Like I said, there's a lot going on with this Stormtrooper, the new Stormtrooper's torso. I just don't like the way it sits, the shape of the figure. It just doesn't look as good as the New Hope version of this figure. So another couple of features, the Stormtrooper has this kind of belt here. So the belt moves, and it's also made of material at the back here with a little bit of Velcro. So you can actually remove the belt from the Stormtrooper, which is a little nice touch. Then he's also got his gun holster there as well, which is made out of the fake leather, painted black. It's got a little magnet button on it, so you can pop that down, put the blaster in there, and then that seals over the top, which is cool. So of course, new Stormtrooper comes with some goodies with him as well, as the standard Stormtrooper did. So we've got the extra hand, obviously Hot Toys thrown all the boxes there, so you've got one trigger hand, and a second trigger hand, there you go. Two clenched fists, and you've got one with that open hand, so he's halting someone, or, yeah. There we go. And then they also come with the grenade there, again with the little metallic hooks that go on the back of the belt. And then obviously the E111 blaster rifle. So this is a kind of a metal colour, metallic colour. It's black with a kind of metal dry brush over it. There's no weathering to it. I'll just bring in the E111 from the New Hope. You guys can see that the scope on this one's a bit different. There's not really much difference in paint job with it as well. There's a few subtle differences here and there. You guys can see the ammo feeds on the side. So the New Hope version has got a lot bigger ammo feed to it than the newest version of the rifle. You guys can use perhaps a little bit lighter metal. So there we go, yeah. That's all the accessories you get with the standard Stormtrooper. It also comes with his display base as well. So Star Wars Stormtrooper, so Star Wars logo with the Stormtrooper on it. And then on the top here, it is more kind of what we've seen keeping with like the Emperor and Luke and from Jedi. It's kind of this matte finish grey over the top, which looks more like the Death Star. And then obviously it's got the display stand there, just bring your display stand, which sits at the back of the base. There we go. And then you adjust this to the height of your figure. Put them over the top. There we go, and then it stops your figure from moving. I've kept the film on over there because I'm probably going to sell this figure on, but yeah, sits in there nicely. So here's a look at the deluxe Stormtrooper display piece that comes with him. So it is, like I said, a panel from the corridor straight out of the Death Star. It's got a really nice matte feel to it as well, and all those panels there light up. On the other side, it's got literally a print of the Death Star, again like concrete wall. It's got these two pegs down the bottom, then you can see, guys, it slips into the back of the display base. So once you take the display base out of the box, you'll see there's two little holes there at the back, and then literally the back panel just slides in. Once in place, you can put the display stand, the adjustable stand at the back there, and then the Stormtrooper will stand nicely there. As with all the figures, the hand just twist and then literally put the new hand in place and screw it into position. And then obviously just the thermal detonator hooks over the belt at the back. So there we go, everybody. There is my review of the latest Hot Toys offering, the Stormtrooper from Return of the Jedi. So you know my feelings all the way through this video. I'm not a fan of this figure. I said the design of the armour, it makes his body look a very strange shape. His belt is very big and makes him look like he's wearing a nappy. His head looks just a little bit off proportion to the rest of his body. So I'm going to stick with my New Hope Stormtrooper forever and ever. If you're a fan of this Stormtrooper version, then definitely pick him up. And if you just have to pick up every single Stormtrooper version they've ever released in Hot Toys, like a nutter, then you can get him now. He's literally hitting stores and on eBay now. He's pretty decent price, kind of like 180 quid upwards. The deluxe figure is a little bit more. Definitely worth perhaps paying a bit more to get the nice display piece behind. But thanks very much, everybody, for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will see you in my next Hot Toys review. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Find MDW on Facebook and Instagram now at MDW_toys.